What makes each of your players stand out in terms of skill and play styles? You can start with the IGL if you want.
Most situations, she makes really good mid-round calls. She knows how to, adapt to the enemy we are playing, and on top of that, again, she has a really high skill ceiling when she is in that mood, and she can really frag out when we need her to as well.
I've seen that firsthand. I can tell you, she can really do that. What about your opera?
Kim is, I will say this a lot, but she has a very high skill ceiling, and also her skill floor is very high, which is really important, especially as an upper. But also something she does well, she has a lot of energy and a lot of fire within her, which is really good because although the team is has a really good atmosphere, you also need like that fire sometimes, and she brings that, which is really important.
She brings the extra spark. Yeah, I've watched her
Yeah.
streams a little bit, so I know it. I haven't heard the comms yet in your calls, but I would like to do it in the future. Maybe that would be fun.
Yeah, we can sort that.
Yeah. What about your riflers? I think you have two, right?
Yeah, I mean we have. We can start with. Maybe I start with Madam. She's a very, very aggressive rifler, which is something we definitely needed. And after we made changes, obviously it was more changes than we thought we would make, but the first thing we looked for was an aggressive rifler, and she fits that really well. She's an incredibly skilled player. She is not scared to make plays. She communicates really well and makes a lot of decisions, mid-round decisions that benefit the team. She's really good at gathering information and making sure we play according to the information we get, which is really good.
I think she's really good in the clutch situations as well. I've seen a lot of like 1v2s, 1v3s from her.
Yes. She's a very when you look at Madam, she makes a lot of. She's a very smart player. A lot like with aggressive players, you don't expect them to be smart, but Madam is very, very smart, and that's something you notice in clutch situations and so on. She's not aggressing because she's stupid. She's aggressing because that's what we need.
Yeah, she knows when to aggress and when to play it calm, and I can tell that in the clutches as well. She makes it to the last second and still it's the right play.
Yeah, she does that really well. Maybe I start with Tess because I think she belongs to Madam in a lot of ways in terms of like we played together in the last team along with Maraltis, of course, but I think where Madam brings chaos, Tess brings a little bit of balance and tries to make things less chaotic. She plays a lot of anchor roles and she does it really good. She's calm and in terms of like raw mechanics, she's probably like the best in the team. She's very when she's on it, she's crazy. I've seen her do inhuman things, and I will probably see her do inhuman things this week again.
Yeah, she probably will. I've seen a few clips only. I'm like, huh?
And again, where Madam brings that kind of aggression, Tess is not a passive player, but she's also more of a grounded player in terms of her playstyle, which balances Madam out quite good.
Yeah, I mean, like they say to Star Wars, there's a need for a balance in the Force. Like, it's the same there. There's a balance in the CS scene. Like, you need one aggressive and one calm.
Yeah, exactly. And last we have Emma, and this is really hard to word, but she's she has. When I first started coaching the old lineup, I immediately spotted that she should be an anchor player, and she never really got the opportunity to play those roles until we made the changes now. And she's transitioned into it really well. She is playing a lot of the harder positions, a lot of thankless positions, where she's not going to be on top of the scoreboard a lot of the time, and if she is, it's probably because we're winning like 30-0. But she plays all of her positions really well, and she plays for the team, and she would, without a doubt in my mind, be the hardest player to replace on the team, because having a player like that is invaluable. And also, I mentioned this a lot on Twitter and stuff, but I genuinely think across, I mean, it's approaching a year, but basically 11 and a half months, she is probably one of the players I've seen improve the most mechanically in that span of time, because she has not been playing for a long time. She has been playing for
When
less
did
than
she? When
2
did she
years.
start? She started playing CS 2 years ago.
I think about 2 years ago.
What?
Not a lot longer.
That is
At least.
insanely improvements.
Yes.
Then if she improves this much, like already on this level, only 2 years in, the ceiling is wow.
Yeah. So she is, and again, she's a massive team player, which everyone is, but she is in particular, which is great, and she is amazing with utility.
Yeah, she is like a supporter anchor. Like she's really good with the util. Do you think that any of the players have exceeded their like your expectations in terms of improvement this year? Like you said with Emma there. Is there any more you wanna point out like that has been improvement?
The thing is, we know we have like all the players to make it, which is like our expectations would be to have qualified for Impact, which we didn't because we no need to go into like a lot of reasons. So I won't say like we exceeded, but I think after like if you consider the fact that we didn't make our goals, I think actually what's really impressive and has exceeded my expectations is the will to keep going and um, keep grinding, because the improvement since Impact is probably the biggest improvements like we've had. Even though I also want to say I think we went into the Impact qualifiers with a way higher ceiling than we thought we would when we like started in December, start of December sometime. So like everyone has kind of exceeded it, but at the same time we didn't reach our goals, so it's kind of unfair to say we did. But in terms of
individual, like they exceeded, but in terms of a team, like the ECL Impact that you didn't qualify, it didn't like exceed. It pretty much bottomed out there.
Essentially, and I think everyone will agree with that. And but again, I want to say that since Impact, the improvement has been crazy. So that has exceeded my expectations since a week. What was it? 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh yeah, time flies. Sorry, that's 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago already. Wow, what's motivating the team to be disengaged? Like, since you like didn't qualify for ECL Impact, what's is that the motivation to get back or?
I mean, everyone wants to play in Impact. Everyone wants to play, eventually full time at some point. And I think everyone is on like good, on a good trajectory for that. All of these players are really used to setbacks. That's sad, but it's also important to learn how to handle setbacks, and the fact that they have and still stay motivated and want to, keep improving is really impressive. So I mean, I just think the way they stay motivated is just their great work ethic in general, and then on top of that, obviously the will to play an Impact. Moraltis has played an Impact previously.
She played for Spirit, right?
Yeah, but and then also, I mean, as opposed to the last lineup, or like the average age is a lot higher. So I mean, players are like more used to, the competitive setting and resetting and all of that, and it makes it a lot easier for me. But obviously, like I felt like shit after the qualifiers. Everyone else did, but then everyone got up, and again, I think everyone, including me, has improved a lot since then. So it's never good to fail, but also if you handle the failures in a nice way, it can be beneficial if you want it to be.
Yeah, you improve the most when you lose. That's the saying. A question for you as a coach: how do you handle a player's performance when it dips or slumps? Like when somebody has a bad week or even a bad month, how do you handle it?
I mean, I think that depends. It's like very individual to the player, and I think actually one of the problems with this lineup is that I didn't figure out how to handle that for the new players in time. I think I have a decent grasp on Kim and Emma. Now I have a better grasp on Madam, Tess, and Moraltis as well. But that is something that's hard because I like to be very individual with each of the players because I don't think anyone. It goes for like teams as well. You can't really coach every player the same. You can't coach every team the same.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and also I will mention since I stayed so long with the last lineup, it's also like very hard to reset for new players since it's very you get quite home blind, and I'm still working on getting out of that. But since the qualis, again, I feel like I'm on a much better page with everyone. So it depends on the player basically.
How do your players interact with each other outside of the practices and scrims? Like, or do they talk a lot outside of playing games, or are they just like teammates?
I mean, everyone is friends. I mean, obviously there is WhatsApp groups, and since we have a core 3, and then we have the duo from the old lineup as well, so obviously it's a bit grouped. But at the same time, everyone is like friends. Everyone plays with each other at some point. Madam is mostly a solo queuer, but she interacts with everyone on WhatsApp and puts in a lot of time to improve.
Yeah, I mean, to want to solo queue is nothing wrong. Like, it's just her play style. She likes to queue alone.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess.
And a majority of the team plays Heyday. So they interact via Heyday.
Really?
Yes.
That's so funny. I used to play Heyday a lot. Thank God I'm not there anymore. I got it's addicting.
It is addicting. Emma would like to hear that.
maybe I should ask them to join their farm group. Thank you for your time, Mupplo, and I'll see you on the battlefield, I guess.
Yeah, thank you as well, Blice.